Today my wife, Tatiana, is wearing a blue sweater. She is going to show us how to apply the trendy light blue color for eyeshadows. At first she is applying her favorite primer from Saie. Tanya says this brand has the best consistency, very light and not sticky. On the palette, as you can see, all the different products, she's prepared them, that she's going to use today. She is starting with a brightening corrector from the brand Becca. Tanya is using a very thin brush to make her strokes very precise and delicate. She takes a tiny amount of the product and applies it under her eyes where the skin is darker. Smooth it out with a finger. Now she's taking the YSL concealer to even the color complexion. Tanya always recommends that one uses a small amount of a product as you possibly can. By applying as little of a product as possible, the product has the desired visual effect but remains invisible as the actual applied product. The trick is, of course, not to carry on until you see the product. Don't look for what you are applying, but look at the visual effect at each stage. The next product has a greenish color. It's a primer that corrects reddish skin. The green cancels out the red. It's really magic. Tanya says she has a red nose and some red spots on her chin. She first applies some to her nose, just using her finger. Not too much, dab, dab, spread, little by little. Wherever you can see reddishness. Now she's using the same thin brush that she used earlier on to apply her brightening corrector. She is applying the color corrector now, but on a spot and blending it in the area around the spot. There may be more than one there. A little finger brush, little by little, and checking each spot as she carries on. The corrector is going to take the reddishness away and will help you to use less of the next products to come. Basically creating an even colored canvas. One more little spot, touch up, and I think she's looking ready. The next step, she's using a bigger size synthetic brush and she is blending two colors on her palette from a brand called Clé de Peau, as you can see on the screen. She likes using two colors of foundation because she can sculpt her face by taking a bit more of the one color in one spot and a bit more of the other color in another spot on her face. In the center of her face, for example, she's using a lighter blend, and on her forehead, next to her hairline and on her cheekbones, she will be using a darker color by mixing in more of the darker color of the blending. She doesn't apply it all over her face. Yeah, the most important thing is that she's applying foundation only where it is necessary. Her next step is applying a blush. Today she is using a long-lasting liquid lipstick as her blush. Tanya is using the same brush that she used earlier on to apply the foundation with. The brush still has some foundation on, so the blush won't be such a vivid color because it blends with the foundation from the brush. If you do this, you will not make a mistake with your blush. Apply a small amount and blend it again. A bit on her cheeks, a bit on her nose. The trick is to replicate kids' red noses. Think about a kid's red nose and try to replicate that with the blush. Now, she's taking a fluffy synthetic brush, clean brush, and she's blending the blush again to be sure that she hasn't over applied it. Just brush the eyebrows a little bit. And next is going to be the eyeshadow. Use a flat brush. She's using a light peach matte color all over her eyelids on both eyes. Obviously, first do the one, then do the other. But cover the whole eyelid. Look how she's using only the one side of the brush for this first eyeshadow color. And then she uses the other side of the brush to apply the second color. After she applies the light blue eyeshadow on her eyelids, she takes a fluffy brush and swipes it over the eyelids to make the blue color even lighter and even. She blends it until she feels comfortable with the color. Makeup involves a little bit of experimenting. Everything is easy to change. It's not like a haircut or dyeing hair. So until you're comfortable is a good concept. If you're not comfortable, change it. Use a brush, a clean brush, and just continue playing. Now she's taking her Dior palette of highlighters and using the lightest color, applying it in the inner corners of her eyes and on top of her nose with a small brush. Oh, she is using a burgundy color pencil from Sephora. She uses it on her top waterline just under her lashes. You can see her eyelash line becomes more emphasized, but without using a traditional eyeliner for her top lashes. She does it only from the external corner of her eye to the highest point of her eye, almost in the middle of her eye. She's also doing the bottom water line, concentrating, looking through the eyelids. There we go. Wonderful. Ah, next, it's a mascara from Byredo. This always looks to me like such a delicate job. Let's watch. We can see Tanya's skin looks luminous, and you don't actually see all the product that she's already applied because all along she's used just the right amount of each product on her face. Very delicate. Already looks very good. She's doing a little touch up on the bottom waterline, only doing the corner. She does only 1/3 of the bottom waterline, and she doesn't go quite to the center. There you go. Now for some brow gel with some tint from Glossier. The color is blonde. You see how she brushes the brows in the beginning of her eyebrows, perpendicular to the eyebrow line. She says it's very important that eyebrows start from a light color and then gains color saturation towards the ends. She prefers a wider distance between eyebrows. Along the second part of her eyebrows, she brushes them towards the temples, towards the sides. She likes the eyebrows looking longer rather than wider, but that is your preference. I don't know if you noticed, but she put a little bit of peach color under her eyes earlier, just before doing the waterline. Pay attention to the eyebrows, actually really very important. Now she's using a brow tint pen from NYX. It's a blonde color. She's drawing little strokes, imitating hairs in spot where the hair doesn't grow. First the one side, then the other. Eyebrows are in fact a very big job. Delicate, accurate work. Yeah, eyebrows are a big job, but important. Or pencil. It's so important to observe the result that you have in front of you. Look and check each step. Ah, a little highlighter, I think. She said it's from Charlotte Tilbury. And now, there we go. The MAC lipstick. Usually she applies lipstick with a brush, but today she is challenging herself to apply it directly with the stick. Don't worry, if you make a mistake, clean it with micellar water and correct with a brush with a bit of foundation. You'll see she does it. There we go. Now, see, there's the correction. Blotting. That's just to finish it off to make it nice. And I think she'll use the brush again. Blot, blot. And there's the brush. Make the edges very defined. So she adds foundation. Now, adding a little bit more. And checking. Small corrections all along the way. She is now checking her cheeks. After you apply a vivid color lipstick, your accents have changed. The color of your blushes have disappeared, and compared to the vivid lipstick. If you want to, you can add more blush for balance. It's not necessary, but can be done if absolutely needed. If you feel that you want to rather blend it more, here is a professional tip. Take a bigger clean brush, as you can see, and blend it over. Blending and smoothing, very important. Each time she brushes, she definitely removes a little bit of the product. Some bronzing on the forehead, she's doing some bronzing. It kind of goes everywhere, you'll see, just to provide some balance. She's also checking her whole look, and finally a little bit of spots, just correcting that again. Check, check, add little bits, and there we go. Smile girl, wonderful.